I wish I had such classroom spaces since I was a kid. With confidence say that I've made a few friends here and I'm taking them back with me. Somebody's stitching, somebody's playing with clay while we're all listening, and somebody is like, sometimes even people are taking a nap in the class, and that's okay. Like, there is no shame around it.
I felt we all had freedom to do what we wanted to do. We created rules for ourselves, and we had space to be able to do that.
It's not just engaging verbally, but engaging through different materials like art, poems, letters, group work. Engaging in different materials to support the learning and to build the scaffolds.
Is a very much more nurturing way of working with people. I think it allows you to connect back to values of care, values of hope, which are often the reason why people step into spaces of working with communities or working with individuals or working with families. And I so feel very strongly over the years that participants connect back to that.
The first part of the diploma felt a lot like coming home. I think witnessing as a practice and how important it is for anyone to be witnessed, and how that affirms and creates and shapes your identity.
Seeing a class which is very different from what typical classrooms are. There is no teacher-student dynamics, which I think is very liberating in a way.
There is more pause, there is more slowness, and there's more silence in my work. It's like co-creation throughout. You're co-creating all the time, and there was so much joy in that collaboration, more than there was competition, and I loved that.
Like how there's this narrative that, oh, this is a safe space. I don't feel like it was just imposed and like said that, oh, this is a safe space. And together, every exploration, every day, we could see someone doing something or the other to make it a safe space. Like, even when there were times when the space did not become safe, there was a lot of undoing to redo and make it into a safe space. It was really wholesome, actually, all of it.
I love doing all the activities.
हाँ मैंने बीच में डॉट डॉट डाला है.
The idea of just like throwing the ball up and down, for me, I realized over time that having something to do with my hands helps me focus. And I was throwing it and it just rolled past. I was really embarrassed, but you kicked it back to me. And that for me was like restorative almost. Because in spaces before where I think in different education settings there were always that there was a certain way to show up, there was a certain way to be. You're expected to be a certain way, and all of those kind of fell apart here. Yeah.
Absent but implicit sort of shifted my world on its axis. That I would end up looking at things like, attention seeking or self-harm and all of these things. When I remember last exploration, when you were drawing those maps, it just really clicked for us that, oh, like this is what is happening, and people are always responding. It's been light, it's been joyful, and it's so full of love and light.
Then the alternative story, and then the beauty of that. How do you kind of how do you note this alternative thing? I think that as a you can call it a technique or a perspective, it was just beautiful. Yeah, and I began to see that, and I could begin. So this was something which was totally missing in my work before, and I may have done it accidentally, but this is kind of, it became very, very kind of clear. Okay, I have to look out for that.
Like this is the best classroom that I have ever had, and I think ever will, in the way that there's so much freedom of choice.
First initial days, I felt I'm totally new to this kind of group. Like everyone is have experience. They are counselors, they are psychiatrists, they are the practitioners and everything. But the activities and the way the classes happen, it made me feel like we are same. That I am coming with a different kind of experience, and they are coming with their own experiences. But we are learning the new things in a same manner.
I think a pedagogical tool that I quite enjoy using in a classroom is how do you build connections between participants, because we believe in narrative practices that this is a work of justice and this is a work of love, and we cannot do it alone. And so how do we build and nurture community within the classroom? How do we build solidarity within?
We are so like generally trained or programmed to think about, okay, what next, what should be the next step, treatment plan kya hona chahiye, you know, that on those lines. In this, it just feels nice to not have something to say, and even if the person that I'm sitting with doesn't have anything to say, it's fine. I think that loitering has really been one thing that is close to my heart. Like, people are always responding. Even when you're not doing something, people are always responding. And
to hold that stance that I can ask questions and still be influential in somebody else's life has changed my work also altogether. And now I'm more curious about knowing about people's life and how they're navigating.
Narrative practices sort of gave me the confidence and the strength to create such a platform. Because as an artist, we are always being told that, you know, commercially how your work should matter. They never tell you that you as a artist, your voice also matters. And this course gave me the strength to create such a platform.
They'll be asking, there's no assumption right now that this child needs this. There's always this ask of, okay, where are you at? What do you need right now? Is what I'm doing making sense to you? Or is what we are doing together making sense to you? So these questions have come into my sessions now. So I'm really liking that the assumption bit has gone down, and the asking and the exploring, trying to know more about them, that has increased.
Like, as a storyteller, I feel like a portal has opened for me where I can see all the stories around me in my own life and in other people's lives.
The questions I ask have really changed. I think just that idea that there is no bad coping mechanism, and it's just a coping mechanism, and that's framed how I've looked at myself, how I look at the people around me, and their acts of resistance, I guess.
I like how everything is always an open invitation, so there's no imposing that this is how it is and this is what you have to think about, but it's always like you can try thinking about this, or here is another perspective. So, you know, like what they say, right, that we're always responding. I notice it now. And I think, like someone mentioned in class, silence also is a response.
How something that I really struggled with in education all my life is that there wouldn't be enough examples, and all of our facilitators have been kind enough to give us examples of the people you worked with, of your own lives, and it's not felt like a power dynamic where you're standing at the top of the class and being like, okay, I'll tell you what is right and what is wrong. Again, the whole co-creating of knowledge.
But this dominant narrative, the dominant story, the alternative story and the preferred story, that was very beautiful. That for me was kind of one of the driving things.
I am able to see the see not as only that person, see the whole around the society, around the history, how, where they are coming from, what they are trying to say to me. It gave me the idea of being not to respond also okay sometimes, and keep distance with the problem and think in a different way.
NPI has given me, the course has given me that insight into how much value there is in the way we ask questions and how we shape these questions.
So there is a lot of, gentleness, there is a lot of fun, there is a lot of, care that goes into teaching, that goes into organizing, that, nothing is done just like that. Everything is thought through.
Marking this difference between being a teacher and a facilitator, and how when we're stepping in, then we're stepping in as someone who's facilitating people's experiences and holding space for that. It's a fun place, and I feel like it's also very well designed as a course, because there are explorations, there's space between explorations to go back, practice it in the settings that we practice, come back, reflect on it,